Well, hello there everyone. I should be on the right camera and I should have audio. And if I pull this window up... Nope, stop that. We are good to go. Well, as you can probably tell from the title, a couple of things to work on. One, gonna bring the SEM back online. I got it down to vacuum last night. It took a little bit longer than normal, but that's to be expected. I was expecting quite a bit of off-gassing to have to happen. Other than that, it looked like it poured a vacuum just fine. Left it overnight, so it's still... I think it does. Yeah, it still feels like it's got a pretty good vacuum in it. So go ahead and get that thing pulled back to vacuum again, because I want to give it a little bit longer to outgas at a really high vacuum. And then in the meantime, we'll get the scintillator rebuilt, and then when we're done rebuilding the scintillator, the SEM will be done outgassing, and we'll be ready to start that back up and do hopefully zoom in a lot further. I've been able to kind of just barely hit like 10,000 times magnification, and I should have no problem getting to 100,000 times magnification. So I've got an entire order of magnitude left to get out of this thing at least. And I do really, I want to take it to 1,500 if I can, or 50. Sorry, 15,000, 150,000. That was really hard. So we'll get working on that. I'll start voice chat once I get the rotary pumps going. So let's do that. So first things first. Let's see here, make sure the SEM is shut off, current's down, we're on vacuum, and we'll get it plugged in. Okay, so that's the SEM power. Okay. Got a little bit of vacuum left, so that's impressive. Get the valves turned on. Gotta operate on this. Nope, not operate. Not yet. Not till the rotary pump's going. Give the rotary pump a chance to warm up. I can move this for now. I'm not going to do any. I'm not doing any imaging for at least a little bit. Okay, rotary pump sounds like it's up to speed. It takes a second for the oil and the pump to warm up, and until it's warmed up, it doesn't pump nearly as fast. Go ahead and hit the operate. Should start seeing vacuum climbing relatively rapidly. Yeah, this guy's doing a good job on the climb. That's a good sign. Well, that's coming up to spec. I'll get the that switch feels weird. Get the water chiller on. Get that thermostat set. Good flow in the water chiller. Okay, vacuum is going to take its time. Okay. And let's get voice chat enabled. Hey there, Phil. Can you say something?
Something.
Can you keep saying stuff so I can get level set?
Yeah, sure. That was last night. And trying to keep up with the news and Twitter feeds and watching the space weather sites.
Okay, we're good to go.
Okay.
Hey there, Cedar.
Hi there. Hello there.
Good to hear you.
How's the level?
Pretty good.
That's about where we were the other night.
Yeah, you and Phil sound pretty close. I'll let you know if for some reason it changes or whatnot, but...
Okay.
Let's see, vacuums. Good enough I can turn the diffusion pump on. Now that the vacuum's all turned on, time to get the scintillator out. Now the question is, should I bring it up to easy to work on? You know, I need to solder on it, so I should just completely disconnect it from the SEM and bring it up here to work on it. That'll make it a lot easier. Cleaned the workbench up today too. It's a little bit better.
Did you reorganize your shelves?
What?
Shelves?
Oh, I think that's gonna happen on Thursday. Get all. I think if I can make it work, I think I'm gonna try and get 3 of those 3 8-foot sections in here. Basically, do this whole wall and go around the corner, and then that'll really put me in a good spot for storage and organization. It'll be a lot of fun.
Started cleaning my lab bench and reorganizing it today.
Yeah, I do it every so often.
Gotta
At
make
least.
room for all that new test equipment.
Yeah. That auction's got me tempted. It's got me way too tempted for my own good.
I'd love to have one of those spectrum analyzers.
Oh yeah, that'd be good for your SDR stuff, wouldn't it?
Hold it. I accomplished something today.
I can't hear you right now. I'm right by the vacuum pump. Give me a sec. This scintillator is actually in pretty rough mechanical shape. There's no discoloration on it, but the there's some physical damage to it. So I'm going to need just a Phillips to get this job done. Okay, let's think this process through. Because thinking for 5 minutes can save me a lot of time and money later on.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I like to think so. Yeah, let me test something out real quick. I think I can... I'm close enough to my laptop tonight for a lot of it that I should be able to just use earbuds for this. Once I find my... What would audio signal attenuation be over a 26-foot 3.5mm extension cable? I can just overdrive it. That'd be fine.
It'd be minimal because it's low impedance.
Yeah.
Unless the cable's made in China.
This is an Amazon special. We'll see.
So it indeed was made in China.
It wasn't a cheap Amazon special though. It was one that was well reviewed though.
We could measure
Yeah, my
the
guess
impedance.
is
We could. I have a scope. Do I have a signal gen that can do this? Oh, this is cool. I bet. Yep. The connectors are actually just twisted together. They're not injection molded or anything. Oh. It's actually half decent inside. It's got a, let me refocus the camera real quick.
yeah, I think I've got a 12-footer just like that.
It's got a half decent molding on it, and then it doesn't over constrain the solder joints, so those can still flex a bit. That's nice.
Yeah, I've got a 12-foot Amazon Basics.
This wasn't a Basics, this was a Sabernet. Sabernet?
Yeah, I don't think you can open the Basics.
That'll be nice if I ever need to repair this. Cable feels relatively decent quality, but I know fields can be deceiving, so we'll use it if I need to. Let's see if just the USB DAC will be good enough. The 3.5mm port on my laptop for headphones took some damage, so I can't use it anymore, so I have to use a USB DAC. Just a cheap little thing.
I run 20-footers just in the studio without any kind of an issue. I mean, like I said, the impedance is so low that you don't really notice it.
Yeah, my concern just was I forgot. I ordered that cable a long time ago, so I forgot how cheap of a cable I bought. So.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't. I gotta refocus, don't I? There we go. Refocused. Audio's gonna cut out for just pretty much everybody for a sec while I reconfigure some stuff. So let's start with Discord. Can one of you guys say something? That would be preferable.
I will keep talking and
One more time.
trying to look at the news and read a book and listen to the stream at the same time.
Okay, just about there. Okay, let's try that one more time. I think I got it now. Okay, cool. I think I have it. For those of you interested, the SEM is at full vacuum now. Sure.
Clearer, Adam.
What?
Sounds a little bit clearer.
On your end?
Are you just using the earbuds, or do you have a mic on the line?
The mic on these earbuds is horrendous. No, I'm not using that. It's just the normal mic. You're not hearing yourself at all.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know where this physical damage came from, and there's also some contamination on this scintillator. I bet the phosphor is still intact, though. I'll save this as a spare. So I can always just remount in another spot that doesn't have as much damage and get good contact with the silver. But Scintillator should last me over a year. And $100 isn't, I mean, I don't want to spend that, but it's not horrible for what it could be. And it's not like it's one vendor who's making this one thing for my microscope. It's I can buy it from just about any electron microscopy vendor. Also,
Hey, that looks like a nice screwdriver set.
what?
That looks like a nice screwdriver set.
Yeah, the iFixit set. I love the thing.
The 2 screwdriver sets from Adafruit.
I think Adafruit sells iFixit.
Okay, hang on. Confirming. Love it. I typed A and Chrome fills in Adafruit.com.
So Phil, is there any chance you're going to be at Maker Faire Worlds? Or World Maker Faire?
There's a chance.
What's the probability we're looking at here?
I'll have to give it a couple more days and see.
Okay.
But I actually was not limping today.
Oh, good.
April. So I am cautiously optimistic that coming out of the whole gout thing, to abuse my foot though.
No, I'm gonna. You've probably seen on Twitter, but I've been talking with somebody who works in the electron microscopy geology lab at University of Maine. So I'm gonna be heading over there for 10 or 12 days, right before Maker Faire, to work with them and learn all about electron microscopy from them. And then, so my hope is that I can just get a bus ride from Maine down to New York and then depart from New York. So I gotta work out housing's gonna be really cheap at University of Maine for me, but I gotta still pay for the stuff in New York, and so I gotta figure out how to pull that one off. But wow, the phosphorus got in spots.
I wonder if there's anybody who works at Adafruit that you could Airbnb with.
Hmm.
Or they would know of somebody, probably.
Yeah.
Somebody trustworthy.
That's always good. I'm actually amazed at how inexpensive this trip's turning out to be.
I thought you had asked about the Seattle Maker Faire. I didn't realize you were talking about the New York Maker Faire.
Oh yeah, I was talking about New York. The World Maker Faire.
That I won't make it there this year.
Okay. No, I was gonna be at the Seattle one, but I'm gonna be in Maine for that electron microscopy thing, so.
Take priority.
Yeah. It's not an opportunity you get very often. Here, I'll get a macro shot of this for you guys real quick.
The phosphorus gone?
There's spots where it's gone. Check out the live stream in a couple seconds.
That's not an ideal condition.
No, it's not. There's no the current scintillator I have in there, those got some pretty heavy discoloration on it, which is more characteristic of a scintillator failure. This mechanical damage is weird. It might have been there since the beginning. I don't remember. I didn't really inspect this part very well when I put it in. I mean, it lasted quite a while, so. I'll make the manual out real quick and consult it for what to do. Can't hear you guys for a sec, so give me a sec.
You only have the two?
Okay, I'm back.
Manuals?
What?
2 scintillators? You only have the 2 scintillators?
I have 3 scintillator discs, 2 of which are mounted up right now. I have 2 of these feed-throughs. Okay, scintillator replacement is section 20. Okay, periodic scintillator needs to be changed to maintain optimum performance of the Super IA3. The right spots for central lines are observed in this location as the illuminating scintillator deteriorating. These spots control speed position past 11 o'clock and contact maintain sufficient nitrous signal. Indication plastic is deteriorating. Also, must keep in mind that rotating the spot size control counterclockwise. Increasing the electron beam spot size will result in decreased resolution when any of them launch and presence to change your game optimal performance. I like how whenever it's talking about like this really involved repair, it always begins with admit air into the instrument as when changing a sample. Saying open the door on it. Okay, I've already done that, I've already done that. Okay, I'm looking at the scintillator from the back side. I can definitely see some damage on it that you can't see from the front side. Looks like it had an arcing incident or something.
Sounds like that won't be your primary then.
That other scintillator works well enough. It doesn't have any really big noise issues. It's just, in general, it's just degraded, so I just don't get the performance out of the microscope I want. I'll post this photo to the Discord and Twitter real quick, so you guys can see it, because I don't want to try to get the webcam down in there. Okay, let's see here. Let's get this posted up here. Okay, let's see here. And 5.5 flare. You think we'll hit G3, Bill?
Pardon?
Do you think we'll hit Category 3 storm?
For Irma?
No, for solar activity.
Sorry. If you were talking about solar, or if you were talking about hurricane.
I'm talking about. Well, we've already hit Category 3 for the hurricane. I'm talking about the solar.
It's a Category 4 now, so.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We've already hit 3.
About the solar.
I mean,
I haven't looked at that tonight. I'm just now starting to space weather.
it's just a second.
They're predicting a G2 class.
Okay.
Spaceweather.com is.
You can sign up to get email alerts from the Space Weather Prediction the Space Weather Prediction Center.
I actually have that website open.
Yeah, they're pretty cool folks there.
That's interesting. It looks like a G1.
Right now it is.
It's also on the predicted for today.
Yeah, so it's transit time for solar storms. It can be about 3 days.
Yeah, it's G2 class predicted on the 6th.
Yeah, 2 to 3 days transit is relatively normal for a solar storm, unless you got something really high velocity, then you might hit a day. But no, this isn't light speed or anything like that. This is because it's a physical ejection.
So it looks like the aluminum coating is damaged.
Yeah, and there's evidence that the phosphorus is just gone in places too.
Whoa. Well, that'll ruin the sensitivity a little.
Yeah, I'm not even sure there's conductivity between the ring and most of the phosphor now, just because of how much damage there is. But I have no idea how you're supposed to... Just gently, I guess? Yeah, gently is the answer. Oh.
Yeah.
The scintillator,
Yeah,
the scintillator just fell out of the ring as soon as I popped it off. So that thing's never being used again. Let me pick it up real quick. Yeah, so what were you saying?
They're predicting a fairly steep. They're predicting an S1 spike in proton flux on the 5th.
So okay, this is relatively serious. Well, no, actually, no. S1's not serious though. It's an inverse scale. And proton flux isn't the biggest contributing factor. I'll take a look at the report in a sec.
They're predicting looks like a G1 5th.
So G1's relatively minor. You get about 900 of those a year.
Magnetic activity. And then they're predicting at the same, actually a little bit earlier, we're predicting an R1 for X-ray flux.
Yeah, X-rays can be annoying, but that's more for more spacecraft concern than earthly concern.
Double the astronauts take shelter.
What?
Double the astronauts take shelter on the ISS.
At R1 they do?
Wondering what the levels are.
I think it's R3 where the astronauts do shelter, but I'm trying to have a photo real quick that shows just how damaged the scintillator is.
G2.
G2, they take shelter?
There.
Okay, check this out. This is I got a pretty good photo of that demonstrates the damage really well. Okay, check the Discord.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying now? And you can just see, if there's no white there, there's no phosphor at all. So, this thing really took a beating.
How old is that scintillator, do you imagine?
Microscope was last operated in 2000, for sure in 2001. It was surplus in 2002. I don't know if it was operated ever after that because I don't have, my maintenance log doesn't have any entries after 2001. So this is probably, I mean, probably manufactured in 2000, so 17-year-old part.
Probably used for a year, maybe two.
I'd say so. I don't have any record. My maintenance log doesn't show the scintillator ever being replaced, so. But this was an old scope, even when Boeing had it. I mean, digital scopes are already around from when my maintenance logs are from. So I wouldn't be surprised if this scope just didn't see very much service.
Yeah, it looks like two different kinds of damage on that.
Yeah, no, I'm noticing that too. I got another photo of the top side coming in. And there's a bit more damage than there was when I pulled it out, because it fell out into the floor. I didn't expect it to fall out like it did. But it tells me that the at least the the conductive paste had failed. So.
Discord's doing some weird stuff to your audio.
Well, both my microphone batteries are good.
No, the volume sounds okay when you come through. It sounds like it's doing a compression thing.
Oh. I don't know.
Some sort of weird. It's squelching or something.
It's probably having a tough time with the vacuum pump in the background.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
New vacuum pumps, when they're operating this range, just purr. I mean, you can just barely hear them. Like, they're just about a little bit less than most desktop fans.
Wow.
You need a separate room.
No, you just need a new vacuum pump. I've got a okay. My vacuum pump is literally was literally used in the Space Shuttle Columbia when it was being built.
Oh, you got to keep it for that reason alone.
Oh, I'll keep it. It's just loud and it gets really hot when it runs and.
You get replacement phosphor discs?
I've got one on. I've got one in stock.
The book on synthetic biology.
Yeah.
I'd recommended.
Yeah.
Facebook, and my friends are absolutely freaking out.
Why?
Oh, don't do that. That's too dangerous. Stop. Acting.
No, there's a young maker on Twitter who was making a joke about was making a diorama of a Jurassic Park scene as a joke or something. I forget what it was, and put a sign on there that says warning high voltage 10,000 volts. And so I commented, no, you should actually work with high voltage. It's really fun. Then her response was, well, I mean, like, my dad does that at grid scale. Like, no, you don't need to use grid scale. Just get yourself a Tesla coil and learn about high voltage. Nothing could possibly go wrong with that.
Said that about the synthetic biology stuff.
I never said nothing could possibly go wrong about that.
Oh.
Something could possibly go wrong with that.
Directly from the bottle, that means we'll have fire later.
No, just a couple drops this time. You're only going to see fire when I'm doing a really big rinse on something.
And get that desk extension put in.
Yeah. I should probably clean the O-ring out on this too while I have it out here like this. Oh, I've already cleaned this before. There's just no oil on the O-ring. Or no vacuum grease. So, see, any chance of seeing you at Roadmaker Fair?
Oh, probably not.
JetBlue flights
New York's just too far away.
JetBlue flights are pretty cheap.
Well, that's true. If I had the time, though, I'd probably head up and see my son for a few days instead.
Fair enough.
Too many things on the plate here, though.
Is your son over in New York, or?
No, my daughter's in Tennessee. My son's up in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
He's over near Maple Grove or Maple Valley. That's it. And he actually lives in Black Diamond.
That's kind of ironic.
In what way?
Maple Valley, Cedar Grove.
Oh yeah, Cedar Grove isn't too far from Maple Valley up there. I'd spot on the road, I think.
Is that the namesake, or?
No, not at all. Matter of fact, I didn't find out about that until after I named my studio. The studio's name is Cedar Grove Studios, and yeah, because we live on Cedar Street.
Ah.
Which, ironically, there are no cedar trees on Cedar Street.
Are there any cedar trees in Richland?
Yeah, you could probably find one. There's a tumbleweed right next to it, I'm sure. A lot of trees by the river here. Actually, we have 3 rivers that come into confluence here.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of trees, but
oh, cool.
Mostly deciduous.
Alvaro's in the chat.
Oh, cool.
Got some bat hunting to do tonight. That's fun. Well, let's say there's a non-zero chance I'll be here when you're done, so...
Did you see that Gene Kranz had to be rescued from his house in Dickinson?
Who? Who?
He was the flight controller at NASA for the Apollo 13 mission.
Oh, no. Well, he's okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
House probably isn't okay.
But he's fine.
So I found out somebody else is making a lot of money on the hurricane. Boat repair shops. People with fiberglass hulls just wrecked them on debris during the hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go grab some vacuum grease real quick. I'll be right back. oh, there it is. I cleaned my workbench up today and couldn't find it. And I can hear you again.
You can or can't?
I can hear you again.
Ah,
Well,
okay.
I got some bad news. I just ran out of chem wipes. I'll have to make this one wipe last.
Rinse it out. Use it again.
Ha 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 ha. Cleaning O-rings, so much fun. So it's kind of funny that person who was going to go help out in Maine, the Electron Microscopy lab, apparently thought I was a lot better with electron microscopes, or had used them a lot longer than I had. So one of the comments was, "Yeah, I'm always willing to hear from people who are really good at electron microscopy." I was like, no. I may have spent hundreds of hours servicing one, but I've only have like 20 hours of beam time on one, and I've never gone past 10,000 magnification. It was kind of funny.
Steep learning curve.
On the servicing, yeah. I'd say a little bit less so on the operation. I mean, it's really easy to get an image. It's just the better you get, the better image you get. Like, I mean, just like if you just go to all the default settings, you'll pretty much get an image whenever you turn it on. So that's not the problem. Yes,
Yeah, you're starting to get higher quality images, though. You know, half of that is the equipment, the other half is learning to tune it.
Everything so far has been learning to tune it. I haven't done really any big equipment improvements for image quality. This will be the first big, really, image quality improvement. I got to the point where I couldn't increase quality anymore due to there being contamination. And then I learned that actually I was running into that wall, so.
Ah.
Adam, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Your mic did sound a bit weird, though. Really struggling with these gloves tonight. Okay, let's get this reinstalled. Come on, there we go. Try and get a nice consistent coating on this. Looks pretty good. And we'll get it seated. This one's being slippery, it's not wanting to stay seated. Come on, stay there. Try flipping it over. Wow, this is being a giant pain. I haven't had to do this to me before. Why is this being so bad? Like it just really, really wants to pop out. Wow, I can't get this to stay. I'll have to install it later. Let my hands actually dry off this time.
Yeah.
And that went better. Okay. So gotta clean off the old silver paste. That's gonna be a Q-tip job. Discord's being weird. My voice chat keeps on dropping quality just on Discord, but I still have good quality on the stream.
That's weird.
Like my bit rate on my stream, normally when there's internet problems, I can see my bit rate drop significantly. So I'm running about 4.5 megabytes per second for our bit rate, and I got about 6. The lowest I've seen my upload go is about 6 megabytes per second. But normally when I have problems, I'll notice that my bit rate drops too. Like when I'm uploading a file to Discord or something, that will drop. But in this case, doesn't appear to be happening.
Last night I was having trouble with buffering, breakup, and so forth. So I checked my internet speed this morning.
Yeah.
And I was getting between 15 and 20 megabits down.
Okay.
Because I pay for 200.
Oh.
And so I called support, and they said, "Oh, that's really broken. Hang on, let's check." And they ran diagnostics on, via their network to the modem.
Yeah. They
found a problem with some of the LAN equipment in the neighborhood. So it took them like 15 minutes. And then I checked my speeds.
Yeah.
I was getting 220 down.
It seems like that they should have automatic diagnostics on that. I mean, doesn't it?
You would think.
Well, they should have more autonomous nodes. But that's kind of expensive, I suppose.
We should have Scott come join the stream and narrate his game to us. Okay, here comes the new Scintillator. So I can do... Actually, I'm only broadcasting at 720p, so let me digitally zoom in a bit with the webcam so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing a bit better. Sure you're okay with that? Let me know if the resolution or something is really horrible, but I don't think it is.
Holy smokes. A friend of mine just posted a picture of the Eagle Creek fire.
Who did?
A friend of mine just posted a picture.
The smoke from all the fires on the west coast is reaching coast to coast now. You can go on the Gozer imagery and you'll see it. Actually, I'm not sure if it's Gozer or Modus that the imagery is from, but... Okay, here comes the new Scintillator.
Tonight?
What?
Said we'll hit 100,000 tonight with the new Scintillator?
In theory.
Well, at work when I use the phrase "in theory."
What?
Work when I use the phrase "in theory."
It's cutting the first part of all your sentences off.
Ah,
Or it was just then. It hadn't been doing that earlier. So just try saying it again.
saying that I get in trouble at work when I use the phrase "in theory." Bunch of they don't like theory; they want to know practical.
That's funny.
Drop that.
Okay, Scintillator is set on target. Bringing the contactor ring down now. Make sure I've got no shorts internally. Okay, that's cleared. Okay, I've made contact.
Does it just snap down?
No, this is where that silver glue comes into play. Oh, I scratched a little bit already. That's okay though. That's too bad. The new Scintillator is not going to be installed tonight. I gotta let this cure for about 24 hours before I can put it in the vacuum.
Magnet.
What do you mean, magnet?
Your suspicious-looking drug paraphernalia.
Oh, you said. Wait, did you say cop magnet or something?
Magnet.
It's cutting the first part of every word you say off, and it's really hard to understand you. Okay, let's see if I can do this without scratching the Scintillator. That'll be interesting. Okay, I think we're there. Okay, time to get the accelerating mesh back on. There's a bit of metal here that's too close to a conductor for comfort, so we're just going to snip it out. This thing is just really poorly designed for outgassing. I got a conductor here with a insulator around it. It's a hypodermic needle. I don't know. I mean, I guess it was kind of useful in really finely positioning it, but it really didn't need to be a hypodermic needle. Yeah, photo time. So we gotta let this sit for about 24 hours.
Sounds like smoke in the air, Phil.
Nope, I think the wind's going a different direction.
Well, it's certainly coming over here.
Yeah.
We can barely see the sun. Well, of course, it's night now, but during the day.
Yeah, it almost seemed like sunset was 2 hours early over here. This has been a weird summer. I think we all know why, but... Have fun catching some bats. Love to hear how it goes. Man, this pan device is really nice. Coming in handy way more than I thought it would.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. It's funny, so a really long time ago, my dad used to own a supply company. So, a lot of government contracts, industry stuff, type stuff. And so whenever I get a tool like this, they're like, oh yeah, I used to sell like hundreds of those. Those are really nice and useful. Like, so why did you never get me one in 17 years? And it's like, we've been places, and seen stuff that had his rubber stamp or the etched-in name of the supply company on it still. And that company hasn't been open for at least 20, 30 years, 25 years now, I think. It's just really funny to see that sort of stuff still.
What was the name of his company?
We're not going to say that.
Oh, okay. I figured if it was gone, it didn't matter. We probably...
It's not entirely
in my business,
gone. That subdivision is of it. So.
It's likely we bought something from him.
We'll talk off the air later.
Okay. Not that I'm concerned about bill paying or warranties or anything like that.
You're not going to get any warranties out of that company anymore.
I used to work with, or used to buy from a company up in Spokane that was called Imperial Carbon Company.
Well, it wasn't up in Spokane, so.
Well, but I'm just relating to the fact that their name was so outdated. They sold carbon paper for people with typewriters and people that needed duplicating.
Wow.
And by the time they came into the 20th century, then they kept the name Imperial Carbon Company, but they were selling, hard disks and back then tapes for digital tape drives, things like that.
Wow.
But I always thought it was interesting that they got their start selling carbon paper.
I just did a bunch of NPT stuff for vacuum, not on the microphone, something else, and the company I order, it's a company in Tacoma, really, really cool place. It's called Woofsco. It's like WOFCOS or something. And it's Williams Oil Filter Servicing and something company. And so, they're old enough that their business in the beginning was just like doing oil filters and furnaces. but now they're a big hydraulic supply house. And they've got every pipe fitting imaginable. And every hydraulic fitting, every quick disconnect, and massive stocks of different hydraulic oils and whatnot. So.
1700s and 1800s, in wintertime, in the they would go out in lakes, and they had these of workers that would go out on the lakes and cut big blocks of ice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they would then haul the ice by horse docks, and they would put them on ships that were packed with sawdust. And they would sail these schooners down to the Caribbean.
I'm sorry. I need you, Phil. I need you to go to your voice settings, turn off automatic input sensitivity, and then turn it up some, because it's cutting out. Like every time you just pause for a second, it's cutting out that word, and it is very hard to listen to you. So it's settings, voice, and then automatic input sensitivity. Sorry about that. It's just I was having a tough time understanding you. I got the gist of what you were saying, but.
I'm going to try turning that off, too, see what happens.
Is that any better?
Oh, I see. They have lots of options, though. Echo compression, automatic gain control, enable quality of service, high packet priority.
Yeah, you need to adjust your turn your input sensitivity up or down a bit, Cedar. You're just trying to cut out.
Maybe take it down a little.
Yeah, now you sound good.
Yeah, it doesn't get rid of the noise as well.
Yours is doing fine on automatic. I mean, I could hear every word you were saying. It was I don't know why. I mean, Phil's has worked for the longest time, and just all of a sudden started doing that.
Is it sounding any better now?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So anyway, they all this ice down to the Caribbean, and they would use it to cool produce and things. Whole industry of ice cutters and transport to the wharves, and then longshoremen to load the ice on the ships, and then the ships to sail down. And then this guy came along and invented a machine that would keep stuff cold. And I always thought it was interesting. That guy's name was Joseph Carrier. He invented the freezer, the electric freezer.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still get, of course, Carrier air conditioners.
It's kind of funny how long names can last.
What's interesting is that invention destroyed an entire industry.
There's been a couple of those.
And they happen more and more frequently. So at the Santa Fe Institute, we've done a lot of work on biological systems versus cities versus corporations.
Oh.
And things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1910, the average age of the New York Stock Exchange was 125 years.
Really? The average age of a company in 1910?
In 2010, the average age of the companies in the New York Stock Exchange was 12.7 years.
Wow.
Happening is companies are churning. Basically, they're dying off and being listed new companies are being listed, and older companies are dying at an increasing rate.
It's all about that pivot. That's pretty crazy. 125-year-old companies. That's. There's not many of those around anymore.
Conglomerates like General Electric haven't been around that long.
What?
Even the big conglomerates like General Electric have not been around that long.
Yeah. There's a really good book by MIT Press on the history. I think it's just called Blackouts, but it's a really good history of the National Electric Grid. Or Lights Out or something like that.
There's a guy that I worked with at MITRE.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Paul Hines. And he's done a huge amount of work on computational modeling of power grids.
Mm-hmm.
And I know an inordinate amount of stuff about power grids, so I'm going to go off to Amazon and look for that book.
If you know a whole lot about it, I mean, a lot of it's it's been a while since I've read it, but a lot of it is the social effects too. Like they did a pretty good recount of the big New York blackouts, because I think there was the one in 2000. Was it 2002 that the last big New York blackout was? But he did that one, and then there was another blackout. I think it was 1965, and so it was really interesting because he could compare exactly the difference between how the city reacted to both of them, because they were both, the entire city was without power, and you could just go from there and look at everything else that happened because of it. He didn't do a really in-depth technical breakdown of how the power grid works. It was just more of a here's how we got here history type thing.
Remember the author's name?
I don't. It's been 2 or 3 years since I've read it. I'll when I head inside tonight, I'll find the book and send you the cover.
Because there's a lot of books named Blackout. I can't seem to find it.
Look for it. It's by the MIT Press. It might not even be Blackouter. As I said, it's been a long time since I've read it. Okay, now
P&L has a grid laboratory, power grid laboratory, and they've been doing some great stuff. Grid modernization laboratory. What else were they doing? But they had a whole they called it a smart grid architecture they were studying at the time. Matter of fact, they were even deploying things like smart wall.
Cedar?
While studying the power grid vulnerability, they were also trying to figure out ways that you could offload and control loads clear down to at the household level.
That's cool.
Water heaters, that was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you had the smart water heater that would or a smart dryer, for example, that only run when the cost of power was low, and when there wasn't some impact on brownouts.
Yeah, thankfully that's not a problem in Washington State.
Not so much, but they did quite a bit of testing over in the Squim area. Mm-hmm. Because the grid over there is a little more sensitive, I guess.
Yeah, I like the hydro we have. It's nice.
Yeah.
We are very fortunate in that regard.
Yeah, very blessed. When I was a kid, I got to work on a couple of the hydropower projects. The Little Goose Dam on the Snake River was one that I got to be involved with the two-way radio repair for the construction company, but you get these great tours when you show up on site.
Oh, yeah.
That's just amazing. It's one thing to see it while it's being under construction. You can certainly go through. It's harder to get tours now, but
yeah, 9/11
one time
happened.
you could get tours. Yeah, but before 9/11, you could get walkthrough tours and go through some of the tunnels and everything. And,
that's cool.
Which is ironic because if you're a terrorist and you want to take out a dam, you go after the electronics.
Yeah, but they just they overcompensate, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, overcompensating on security for power grid, just fine. 100% improved. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that.
A very hard time getting information about the U.S. power grid. A lot of the modeling was done on European power grids that don't have the same restrictions on access.
Oh, huh.
But they're getting smarter about protecting that information, which is good.
Hey, Cedar, can you turn your squelch down a little bit? You're transmitting about half the time. Yours is doing fine in automatic, too.
So, Adam, I just got the weather forecast for tomorrow, 98 degrees.
Oh, I might not be out here tomorrow. This is supposed to be over like 3 weeks ago. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we were 97 today.
Okay, so photos are coming in from the Discord.
No, we're going to be 95 tomorrow.
Oh, we got you beat, which is unfortunate. So I guess I said technically we're losing, I'm going to say, but...
Yeah, you can... Anytime you want to lower our temperature, that'd be great.
I'm going to head outside for a second. Apparently the moon's bright orange. Be right back. I'll tell you what, I'll narrate what I'm seeing. I don't think it's visible yet where I am at. Yeah, it's behind a house right now. It'll be out in about an hour and a half. Okay, I'm back. I can hear you again.
So, Adam, is there a scratch in the aluminum of the?
Yeah. My glove nicked it as I put it in. Just the glove. It wasn't even a fingertip. If you get a softer Scintillator plastic, you actually you get a lot better performance out of it, especially with the older styles. So I'm not surprised it's a really soft one. I should have been more careful.
Oh.
But I mean, it wasn't even a fingernail that touched it. Is the annoying part.
Still, it looks like an improvement over the old one.
Oh yeah. No, that little bit of surface area gone is not going to be a big deal. If it is, I can just put a little dab of silver glue over top of it.
Mm-hmm. It looks so shiny and new.
And then one little dink.
Yeah. Well, we can Photoshop that out.
So I've got to figure out a place to storing this real quick. then I go put it in just a corner of the shop to put a little, figure out a desk cover for it. Or I can put it inside my CNC machine enclosure. That'd be good. Yeah, once the SEM's running better, I'm going to spend some time getting the CNC back online. Especially after I rearrange the shop, I'm going to set a alert out on Craigslist for a cheap dust extractor. Because you run it right now and it just covers the rails, the linear rails in dust, and it binds the wheels up. So, notably less than optimal. Yeah? Phil, you were saying something?
What CNC you have?
It's kind of like a Shapeoko 2, but it was a European model that I bought on Craigslist for a really good price, so... Okay, I'm trying to think. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I'll be using the CNC machines in the maker garage for the rocket engine components.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely jealous of what you have access to. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and save the old Scintillator in the new Scintillator packaging just in case I ever need it for something. Hopefully I don't, but you never know. Okay, let's get this back in its little baggie, and then we'll move on to operating the SEM. Now, the images I'll get tonight will probably be a bit noisier than they're going to be once I get the new Scintillator installed, but I should be able to reach like 90% of the magnification, and I think, because I've never dealt with the SEM in this condition before, but I should be able to reach the pretty close to the highest magnification I will be able to.
What's on the specimen menu tonight?
I'm going to use that 3D printed part I was scanning earlier again because it's a really easy one to scan.
Mm-hmm.
It's got detail just all the way down everywhere on the sample, which means it's really easy to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, I got a couple. I can do a quartz crystal oscillator. I got some light bulbs that are burned out and some that aren't burnt out. But we'll see how long it takes. I might spend quite a bit of time just tuning the microscope on this one sample. I'm getting really good at focusing with this one sample because it's so easy to work with. So, we'll see. And there is the old Scintillator. I'm gonna go off voice with you guys for a second so I can get the just put this somewhere where it's not gonna get Actually, I'm just gonna put in the CNC machine, so I guess I can do that from here. Oh, I don't think I ever showed you this. I'll pull this out later tonight, but I got a giant box of electromagnetic interference shielding samples. So like these, I got some copper ones for some higher frequency stuff. And then some just kind of regular conductive foam ones for all sorts of different size ports. And then I probably got like 100 or 120 different samples of just linear gasket. This is all from Intel, just in the trash pile. All of the EMI shielding is mine. Probably refocus the webcam at some point. Okay, so it has successfully been repositioned to inside the CNC machine without any damage, which is good. It's really clamped down on so it won't come out at any point. Do a bit of cleanup and then I'll get it set up for the electron microscope.
Okay. Peter, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. 18 minutes ago, intelligence reported North Korea was moving intercontinental ballistic missiles to their launch facility on the West Coast.
Yay! Okay, let's see here. Oh, I just realized I did something stupid. I have to actually connect the high voltage feeder cable to the high voltage tanks. That's not this. That hasn't been reconnected yet. Whoops. That should be all the work I have left to do. So, I'm going to set the voice back up to go over the speakers. So give me a second to arrange that. I'm going to try a smaller set of speakers instead of the TV this time. So hopefully that will result in less noise or less echoing for everybody else out there. Can one of you two say something?
Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, testing.
Keep talking, please.
Okay.
A little bit more.
Fall season starts Thursday night, and I had this AI program that, well, machine learning program that would predict the outcome of games. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble hearing you guys when I'm over by the vacuum pump, but this way it won't cause too many echoes for the lav mic and everybody else. You can tell I'm coming close to the transformer oil because I'm putting the black gloves on.
Okay.
I just realized I hadn't grounded out the electron gun yet. So we gotta take care of that real quick. And right now, it's got a path to ground, but it's not a very good path to ground. And I want a good path to ground with 30 kV. Huh. I am having trouble finding the right size screw for this. Oh, there's one. I can hear you right now, by the way, while I'm over here. What's so funny?
A nuclear weapons drinking game.
Uh-oh.
Every time a news article references EMP, you have to drink.
Oh, yeah, that's, isn't that nuclear anthros?
They're all caps. EMP, drink.
Yeah, I'm a bit young to partake in those right now, so... You know, I need to set up a Twitter bot that is fed with IFTTT and has a Google search alert for EMP, and then just have it automatically tweet at nuclear anthro whenever it happens.
That would be annoying and spectacular.
You know what? I'm willing to do this tonight after the stream's over. Don't tell them it was me, okay? Promise? This is gonna be great. Okay, now it is properly tied into ground, so I can actually connect the high voltage safely.
Ground that would seem like a bad idea.
What?
Ground that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah. Okay, let's try moving the second speaker closer to me and see if that helps at all. Okay, let's try that out. And here comes the high voltage connection. Okay, high voltage tank side is set and grounded. Cable strain looks good. Grounding is good. We're good to go. So you guys want to place bets on if the thing's going to turn right on, or are we going to have to deal with more troubleshooting? Everybody ready?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I know, right? Kill the lights. I'm going to apologize in advance. At the beginning, I'm not going to have the camera very close to the console because I want to have as much room to maneuver. Namely, be able to hit the off switch as fast as possible. Probably don't need this probe in the high voltage anymore. Okay, here we go. Oh, let me turn exposure up for everyone. Okay, we're in backscatter. Contrast is about zeroed out-ish. Brightness is low. Preamp is normal, current is down, high voltage is at 2 kV, dynamic focusing is off, stigmators need to be reset to 5.0. And 5.0. Working distance is correct. Alignment is reset. Spot size is correct. Magnification is low. Zoom is low. Brightness is set. Contrast is set. Preamp is set. Signal selector is set. Dual mag is off. Gamma control is off. Scan mode is a normal. Image shift is set. Position is set. And we're in backscatter. Column is in course align. And we should be ready to go. I'm going to make sure all the cables are plugged in real quick. Just do a final check on that. Okay, I see no problems right now. Sam, ready to go. Make sure the valve's in the correct position. Valve is in the correct position. Vacuum looks good. We'll go to emission. Actually, let me do a leak check real quick. We're just going to... No, leak check will actually cause more harm than good. Okay, let's go to operate. Current looks stable. No nasty smells. Bring brightness up. Okay, we've got image on the CRTs. Now let's go to saturation. Okay, we saturated just fine, but I'm going to run current. I'm going to run current low for a second just to kind of outgas the filament a bit. The high voltage supply is making the correct whining noise, which is good. It's kind of ironic.
Should have been a car by sound.
Yeah. We'll give that a minute to outgas at temperature.
Noise respond to internal temperature.
What?
How does the system noise respond to temperature?
That actually is what changes. So it's a thermionic electron emission gun. So the higher the temperature, the more electrons are coming off, and the more current is put through the high voltage supply to accelerate those electrons. So you'll hear the electrons or the supply get louder when you increase temperature because you're accelerating more electrons.
Hotter is better.
Louder, not necessarily, but it's the correct frequency whine. It's not a real low frequency or something, which is what I'm concerned about. So I'll go and give it a bit more current. I'll hit partial sat. We'll just go with partial saturation. Give it some brightness, or I'll get spot size actually, that'll be easier. Oh, I'm in backscatter, no wonder I have no image. So it's secondary. There we go. Immediately got an image in secondary. Right where I left it. Okay, let's punch in on this. Sweet, it's working out pretty well. Okay, let's bring the image in focus, and then I'll do a little bit of electron gun alignment. It's always a good feeling when you get the course aligned so perfect that you don't need to use the fine alignment at all. Yeah, I just got the course alignment like dead on. That's great.
Now you're just showing off.
What?
Said now you're just showing off.
Of course I am. Well, I mean, when you get the course alignment better, it's mechanical alignment, not electronic alignment, so you get better image out of it.
digital zoom on the camera.
What?
Or you use a digital zoom on a point-and-shoot digital camera.
Pretty much like that.
So, technical question.
Yes.
Does your microscope produce enough data, or the right data, to do false color imaging?
Yes. I've done some false color with it.
Or image, image. I'm going to say strength, but that doesn't make sense.
Here, I'll get back to you in just a second. I'm trying to focus on something right now. Sorry, I'm being a bit quiet right now. I'm trying to actually learn how to use these controls right now.
You do apologize.
Okay, I'm gonna try taking it up to a higher accelerating voltage and see if that, and check that out. Oh, I see Cedar left us.
Oh, he'll be back in
15 minutes?
8 minutes.
8, oh, I see you started a timer for him.
Moore is having another late night.
In the Discord?
Just committed something on GitHub.
Ah. Okay, let's try this out. Okay, that's not too horrible. I got a pretty long working distance too, so I should probably drop my working distance by quite a bit, and I'll theoretically improve things a lot.
Okay.
Thanks for timing that, Phil.
No problem.
Okay, I'm definitely getting some improvements right now. I'm gonna go to another area that's got a little bit higher returns and see if that'll make it easier to focus. Because once you get the astigmatism corrected in one spot, it's corrected everywhere, and then you just gotta focus after that. It's getting really touchy right about here, which is good, I guess. Okay, right now I'm looking for a sharp vertical line to go to get my x-axis stigmator adjusted. Okay, so I got a really good vertical line right here. Once again, I apologize for not being more talkative right now. This is just a really difficult alignment to do.
We want you to stay focused.
I'm running into some performance limitations with the Scintillator right now.
Does that show up as a dynamic range issue?
No, it shows up as a noise issue.
Oh. Like we saw before, that 1 megahertz noise that comes in there?
No, this is more of a spot noise. Because yeah, you just start getting more random returns with the degraded Scintillator, and so I'm just having trouble identifying what's the edge and what's the noise. So, I think I'm pretty happy with how I've got my. I'll go ahead and take the kV up one more time. Go to 15 kV. But I think I've got the sigmators adjusted as much as I can with the Scintillator in its current condition. It's just really hard to see the difference between this is the edge and this is not the edge, because the edge is really fuzzy, regardless of what you do because of the noise of the Scintillator. Because when you zoom in that far, you have to reduce the electron beam spot size significantly, and when you reduce the spot size, you reduce your secondary electron returns, so you have to increase your contrast, which increases the noise amplification coming off the Scintillator.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So see, if I turn contrast up right now, you can see the snowy field is pretty bad right now. I can actually move the camera in a bit. You know, I'll use digital zoom on the camera to get you guys closer to that. So that field should be significantly less snowy than it is. And that's directly a result of Scintillator performance being degraded. But I pushed it up to 20,000. So that was pretty respectable.
Yeah.
I'm only 4 steps away from 100,000, which is my goal with this microscope. Beyond that, I need a different microscope to do that, so let's see if we'll hope I get that one. Okay, should we stabilize at 15 kV and start turning up emission current? Turning up emission current is one way I should be able to get around the reduced performance of the Scintillator somewhat.
Oh, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, this is at just a second. I realized I forgot to check line voltage. Ah, shoot. Line voltage is really low. Yeah, local line voltage is too low right now. So you know what we'll do? We'll just let that run in the diffusion pump for a while. I noticed that the incandescent lights on the front panel were starting to flicker a little bit. And it's right around 10:30 here, so it's 10:30 at night. On what was a hot night, it's going to be a pretty high load around here. So I'm not surprised line voltage has dropped a bit. So in the meantime, I guess I'll take a little bit of time to install some new shop lighting. So hopefully around 11:30, I'll see line voltage head back up as load starts to go down.
Well, I'll check the recorded stream in the morning then, because I'm going to take off here.
Okay.
Well, at least you made good progress, and the alignment and stuff is working. That's good.
I might stop the stream during the when I do the shop lighting and whatnot, just so I don't have to trip over as many cables. But I'll restart it if I start doing more imaging tonight. But it's just line voltage. The microscope's running at 96.3 volts right now, and it wants 98 at a bare minimum, and it really isn't happy with 98. So, I mean, line voltage is down to 116. It should be 120 around here. So, you can you can just see how bad that is.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I will talk to you later.
All right. I'll look for the streams in the morning. I don't know if Phil's still awake or not, but I'll see you later, Phil.
Well, Phil's mic is muted, and he hasn't responded to anything, so...
Yeah, he left a comment out in the chat. That,
yeah, make sure he doesn't snore.
Do that. Cool. All right, see you later.
See ya. Well, if anybody else is still watching and is interested in still watching, please sound off in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to shut the stream down for a bit while I wait for line voltage to come back up around here, so I can not undervolt the electron microscope. Well, hearing no one else sound off in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream here so I can tidy up a bit, install some new shop lighting. Just waiting for the local line voltage, AC line voltage to come back up. It's incredibly annoying that it's like it just gets so low. But with that, I will see everyone here tomorrow.
Sounds good. Have a good evening.
Sounds good.